What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a Football Friday Super Bowl edition of 27Q alongside that man who knows something about winning championships, two-time Super Bowl champ from the New York Football Giants, great running back Brandon Jacobs. I'm Rich Quinones. Always good to connect with everyone on social media and, of course, the YouTube channel 27Q. Big man, you're looking swell. There, I see the guns. Put them away. It's illegal in Atlanta, Georgia. We know that. You got the backdrop. You got a nice day out there. You're looking good. You're looking all spry, and your house seems to be coming along. So what's going on, brother?
Oh, man, not much, man. Just doing great, man. Just happy to be above the soil. Rich, moving and still got this stuff going in and trying to get settled in and stuff like that, man. It's been, kind of hard. But I got a dog that got hit by a car, a few months ago. He just had surgery, so he's home. So in between trying to, deal with the house and all this other stuff going on, and just living life, man. Just like I said, just happy to be above the soil.
Hey,
and you said, you told me to put the guns away because they're illegal. But guess what? I live in Georgia, and down here in Georgia, baby, it's America.
Well, we know Santa. We know Santa didn't take care of you during Christmas with what you wanted.
No, man, he didn't. And I'm still waiting.
Yeah. Well, you just, maybe no coal in the stock.
And every movie I've watched since Christmas has somebody in it with a damn desert eagle. Every one of them. Damn.
Yeah. Let me tell you this real quick before we start. So last week, all my buddies, I'm getting hit up on Facebook and Twitter and social media, and they're like, "Yo, man, what was the end of the episode? It was like an MTV version of Cribs," and I was like, the big man wanted us to give a tour, man. What am I going to say? No, he's taking the time to let us. He's peeling the curtain back. If you do that, and I was like, so just deal with it. So they got a kick out of the little backdrop.
Unfinished basement.
Yeah. Hey, I'm listen. You'll get that man cave all set up. So
I'm not rushing.
No, nor should you. Day by day, brother. All right. So Super Bowl right around the corner. Eagles and the Chiefs. We'll get to that, but we got to talk some hoops, man. You and I are both hoops heads. NBA trade deadline has come and gone. LeBron breaks Kareem's scoring record. You tell me, where do you want to lead off with that?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate LeBron on such an amazing accomplishment, something he's worked so hard for and didn't set out to come into the NBA and do that. That's just stuff like that happens when you're great, like LeBron. And I'm proud of him, man. And I definitely appreciate the time that I've had being able to say I've, been around him and hung out with him and being, just being able to watch him play. So great accomplishment, for LeBron, and it's awesome, man.
When you break a record like that, well, let me get your thoughts on this first. I appreciate everything LeBron has done, right? And I want to get into with some of the trades because it'll be a nice little segue for some, I have a feeling, a little back and forth. But because you break a record like that, does that necessarily mean you're an all-time great? Or you're the all-time great? Like, I still have this argument where, why can't there be a 1A, a 1B? Why can't we just sit back and say, you know what, this man has won championships, won MVPs, he breaks a storied record by Kareem, but then I can also say, well, remember too, you add in the advent of the three-point shot, and scoring's been up over the last several years in the NBA. I appreciate what he's doing at this advanced age, and that records are meant to be broken. But when you look and you take a step back, when you break a record like that, does that automatically put you in that category of you now are the best of all time?
No, it doesn't. No, because if you think about it, somebody was passed up, like on the way to the top.
Correct.
Right. Michael Jordan never got to Wilt Chamberlain. He never got to Kareem's numbers as far as points is concerned.
Yeah.
Four people has passed Mike, but we still got this GOAT debate. Obviously, Mike don't have all the points in the world, right? It's four people ahead of him. So he's still mentioned in the conversation. Why aren't they having a conversation in between Kareem and LeBron if points matter? Points doesn't matter. And like I tell everybody all the time about this GOAT debate shit, Rich, is your favorite player. It's who you like. The GOAT is to you. Whoever you are, whatever you like, if you're a Michael Jordan guy and you was around in the 80s and the 90s, and you had a chance to watch Jordan play, and you feel like no one will ever give you what Michael Jordan gave you, then Michael Jordan is your GOAT.
Right.
But if you was around for LeBron and you see LeBron and you see what he's doing, it doesn't matter if LeBron is knocking all the numbers out of the park. None of that matters. Your favorite is still Michael Jordan. So
Yeah.
Michael Jordan is going to be your GOAT. So for all of this debating that people do and all of this demeaning that people do to one another, argue and name call and just say all of this stuff, it doesn't really matter because you like who you like, and whoever you like is your GOAT. GOAT, there's nothing out there that determines a GOAT. So therefore, it's all opinionated.
Yeah.
Nothing determines who the greatest of all time is. Nothing in no sport.
Yeah.
It's who you like, and it's who you care is who you care to support.
Yeah. Excuse me. But to your point, that's the bar talk, the banter, the talk shows, what we do, what friends do. Like, for instance, I would even maintain that LeBron James is not even the greatest Laker. I mean, come on, man. Kobe, Jerry West, Kareem, Magic Johnson. When you look at LeBron James, we're probably going to look at him in the same light as Kevin Durant, who just got traded again. Like, what team would you associate LeBron James with? Cleveland, Miami, Cleveland again, or now the Lakers?
I'm going Cleveland because he's accomplished the best of him, mostly built, by himself, in Kyrie, that I'll say, and in Cleveland. So that's the Cleveland. So that's the LeBron James I always go with, is that guy.
I think, though, too, we have to sometimes, and when I say we, fans, and even the media, like, you have to figure out a way to separate yourself when we're talking objectively about a player, right? Just because I don't like Brandon Jacobs's thought or take or opinion on X, Y, and Z, it doesn't mean he wasn't a hell of a running back and a hell of a player, right? So I think I'm telling you, I think it gets skewed, man. We see it in Major League Baseball Hall of Fame voting, right? Because let's be honest, it's not about character, it's about what you do on the field. Look at some of these guys that have been in the hall. We did in the NFL, we played favorites. We're still doing it in the NBA, right? With the whole shut up and dribble. Nobody cares what you're thinking. I don't care about to me, a guy like LeBron, God rest his soul, Kobe Bryant, the Bradys of the world, the Montanas that we saw, the Aaron Rodgers, even if you don't like what they think or say, they're going to be missed when their playing days are over and done. And I think sometimes we can't separate the two, right? We just already have this perception about the player, and we want to push this narrative, right? Because we don't like a player having an agenda. We don't like a player. And listen, I can say the same thing, and we'll get to in a minute with Kyrie Irving. So I don't want to sound hypocritical, but I think sometimes we look at a certain player, athlete, and we already have this preconceived notion of them, and it doesn't matter really what they do on the field.
Absolutely. I mean, people look at Kyrie as an absolute, whatever you want to call him. People look at Kyrie like he's a terrible person, right? So no matter what he accomplished on the court, it's going to always be overshadowed by the extracurricular BS that us as fans didn't need to hear or see. You know what I mean? With Kyrie. So a lot of that has a lot of stuff to do with people looking at your greatness and turning a blind eye to it because you may have offended them at some point in your career by saying something crazy like Kyrie has done. So a lot of things shape a guy into as what you can call a GOAT type player. But no one's ever going to like everybody, right? You can't make everybody happy.
No,
it's life, and you're not going to be able to get everybody to like you and like the accomplishment that you've done and achieved. So that's just it in sports. I got Giant fans that probably hates me. That's what it is. They probably look at me as this big dude that wasn't that didn't convert a fourth down and one or a third down and one or whatever may have you. I got Giants fans. I go through and I read comments all the time on YouTube clips and articles and stuff like that. They use people. I have a lot of people talking dirty, like talking bad about me being slow, me being out of shape, whatever they may think I was at the time. So, and that's the team I played for my longest, and I've achieved the most with that team. So not all Giant fans like me. You're not going to get everybody to like you ever. So people need to stop trying to make everybody like them.
Yeah, but I harken back. You said something. I think I want to say a month or so ago, and I never at the moment kind of caught you until I went back and I listened to the show regarding yourself and your career and your persona. You said maybe I underachieved a little bit. And I was thinking to myself, well, look where you were drafted and look how you started. Like, I don't know what did you mean by that? You're
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I underachieved, but I'm going to say this. I never was a guy that had the backfield to myself when I was with the Giants. I always had a guy with me, but I think that's due to the physical nature I played the game, the physical level I played the game at. That maybe we couldn't just get through with just me. You know, maybe I'd have missed too many games, and we would have to rely on another guy that wasn't starter worthy.
mm,
Like maybe that's what it is, and I thank the Giants for being able to have him give me help. Could I have more than 5,000 yards? Could I have more touchdowns than what I had if I would have been by myself? Shit, who knows? Or would I have spent, you know, years in the can on IR because the way I play the game,
that's
So
right.
I would like to thank the Giants for having me a guy with me all the time. But a lot of these guys that started when I started got these crazy stats because most of them was by themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I sometimes say maybe I underachieved a little bit. It was the games I probably could have did more, but probably we was blowing somebody out at the time and got pulled out, or was getting beat and got pulled
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Like one way or another. So a lot of that comes into play.
Listen, not converting a 4th and 1 does not define one's career. So,
I know, but people, if you go through and you read, like I go through it, like I was showing my son one time, somebody wrote an article about him and had some negative comments. Oh, that kid's too young to be so big. Not people paying attention that he's tall. He's not this little short barbecue smoker of a kid, that looked like a little smoker. He's round, he's tall, so people, say, oh, he's too this, he's overweight and this, that, and the third, and it kind of hurt him a little bit. So I went through and look, read the comments of these people, what they're saying about me. And this is my highlight tape. Everything on here is great to me.
yeah.
Look at what they're saying. So look
Right.
at what
Right.
they're saying. Like, you're
Yeah.
not going to get everybody to like you, son. So
Yeah.
if this is what you want to do, then you got to turn the blind eye, all that shit.
Yeah. Well, it's all about having a thick skin. You're 100%
Yeah,
on that one. And at the end of the day, it's just words, man.
absolutely.
I, doing this as long as I have, you don't like the way I look, sound, don't listen. I
Straight
mean,
right, straight up. But that's
I'm,
true
I'm,
though. Like, don't
I'm
listen. There's
getting,
plenty of
I'm,
things you could be doing.
I'm getting my 8 hours nonetheless. Don't worry about it. I'm getting my eight
Absolutely.
hours nonetheless. Right. So, all right. You mentioned Kyrie. Now, full disclosure. I think he's a franchise friggin' wrecker. Explain to me, big man, how you can have Hall of Fame talent, how it can be lined up for you, set up for you with LeBron in Cleveland. And let's be fair. Without Kyrie, game 7, he had the big shot. We know about the chase down block with LeBron, but Kyrie was a man in that series. It doesn't work out. You want to go to Boston. You want to have more of an influence on the offense, and it's centered around you. It doesn't work out. Then you go to the Nets, and it doesn't work out. I mean, it's almost like a vagabond. He's actually making players like Rodman or T.O. or Moss or Chad Johnson or you name it. They look like choir boys. Like, what is it do you think about Kyrie's persona? And it has nothing to do with what he's tweeting or what he thinks. I'm just talking about basically being a team player, man. How can you have it lined up and set up for you? I mean, he's played with some Hall of Fame players, Kyrie.
I
Great
don't think
players.
Kyrie. I don't think Kyrie. I think this went south for Kyrie with this whole Brooklyn trade to the Dallas Mavs. I think it went south. I don't think he wanted to leave. I don't think he wanted none of this stuff that happened that just happened. I think he was trying to debo them and get him a new contract, and he just went by the wrong way doing it.
Is that what
Versus
you
going up.
honestly believe?
Mm-hmm.
But think about this. He missed all those games, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the COVID. He knew that. So that's hurting the team, whether your stance or no stance on the COVID and the vaccine and what have you. He knew that. Then he doubled down, and I think it rubbed people the wrong way. And he also, who was the player that came out and said, we don't really need a coach? That was Kyrie.
Yeah, but do you really though? I mean, you also need somebody. You need somebody there for structure, obviously. But they don't. But half of them guys in the NBA, they don't even. The NBA is trash. You ask me. It is. It's a bunch of traveling and double dribbling and just all kinds of. It's just a showboat league now. That's what it is. Like if you got skills, you're gonna be successful in the NBA. Because you got skills. You know.
Okay, but not to cut you off, what happens when that 25-10 starts to become 16-8, right? 12-5, and you're missing games, and you're not, or you're missing practices, or you're not engaged. I mean, I feel as though he's only happy when everyone else is miserable around him. I mean, you got all the talent in the world, you got more money than God, you can be a Hall of Famer, you can win championships. What is it like? What have you ever played with a guy that you just knew, great player, but to a man, selfish friggin' teammate, or this guy's never ever going to get it, and it's going to derail a season, or it's going to derail an opportunity?
I ain't never had a teammate like that. I mean, the closest I had to that, Shockey. But he wasn't bad. Like he wanted the ball. Like the guy needed the football in his hands. Like he was a beast with the ball in his hands. Great blocker, but he wanted the ball. He wanted more balls thrown his way. But he didn't blow up in front of a whole bunch of people. We talked about that within the locker room.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I have never experienced a guy that's just a team killer.
And by the way, I know what people are watching this, they're going to sit there and say, come on, can you wait a second? What about Plaxico? Listen, that's an
Plaxico
accident.
was not a team killer.
Yeah. I mean, that's just one of those, man, we can't believe that just happened. It's unfortunate, but by all accounts, when he was out there, he balled and he played. I mean, right? So, but I know, how people are going to get, they're going to be like, how come you're not pressing B on Plaxico? It's apples and oranges, man.
I mean, when Plaxico was available, he came out and he fucking played hard. He gave us everything. He was a great teammate. It was just an unfortunate accident that he had that caused that. Like, people don't understand. Like, we had 3 people on the team get robbed that same week. We had people, the guy took Steve Smith and showed him outside and put him at gunpoint and took him inside his house.
Wait, you had 3 players that were robbed that week?
Yeah, people were like, he had a reason he had that. Like, it ain't gonna happen to me. It ain't gonna happen to me. I can't let it happen to me. I got kids I gotta get home to. Got a wife I gotta get home to. I can't let it happen to me.
Wait, walk. I've never heard this. Walk me back now. So that was obviously the 2008 season after you guys won in 2007.
Yeah, we had guys getting robbed. We had guys getting robbed pretty much all season. Guys, a year before that, or 2 years before that, Tim Carter got robbed. When you play a wide receiver that went
sure.
He got robbed. He got put in his BMW M3, and they took him to 10 different banks to get cash. Right? Steve Smith was getting something out of his car. Guy walked up behind him with a gun and told him to go into his house. He's sitting in the house. These guys robbing him. It was all kinds of different things. There was all kinds of things happening there. So for somebody to say Plaxico was wrong for carrying the gun, they don't really know what's going on and what guys were being faced with that was actually out there in the streets. So I get so tired of people giving their opinion on what stuff. Yeah, okay, yeah, he shot himself, the gun fell, he had sweatpants on, gun fell, he tried to catch it, shot himself on the head. Yes, that happened. But the guy had the gun for a reason. He had the gun for a reason. Maybe he didn't go by the right way of doing the whole thing. He should have got, and that's what, Player Protect and all these other guys, come in. But man, we don't have time to be, moving on someone else's accord, doing this and doing that. Like, guy was wanting to protect himself, and we had an unfortunate accident that happened, and that's that.
Did you? I mean, you're a pretty big cat. Did you ever have to worry about? You don't walk around with security or anything like that? You just kind of did.
No, I don't walk around with security, and I didn't walk around with a whole bunch of jewelry and stuff like that on. I walked through the streets of New York, going to my car that I parallel parked with 5 blocks away from where I was at 3 a.m. I had my antenna up. I had my head on the swivel, but I was also ready to throw these hands if I ever needed to. I never walked around and had no kind of security with me.
Yeah.
I did used to go out with a bunch of guys that I hung out with outside of my team that was also there for me, if I needed them in any way possible. But yeah, it had a lot of stuff going on, man, that people won't never really understand until they're put in a position.
I did not know I remember the Steve Smith. I don't recall the Carter thing. The one thing I remember about Carter is he had Jets, and I think in the game against the Eagles, you guys were down 17 in the fourth quarter, and he recovered, I think, a tumor fumble for a touchdown. You guys won that game 30-24 in overtime. And oh, by the way, Plaxico had the touchdown, and then he had knee issues. Timmy Carter had knee issues, I think. So
he was fast though.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. So real quick, and then we'll get back to the Kyrie stuff. When something like that happens, and you guys know that, man, this can be a special season. Did it deflate you guys as a team, or we just have to go out and just keep winning and playing because ultimately you guys finished 12-4 and got home field advantage?
We tried to focus. To turn our focus to winning, but we had a great season going, and we know Plaxico had a lot to do with that, right? Even though he was not having the best season, he was dealing with injuries. He was not having the best season, and he was still so much. He had so much to do with our game plan. He has so much to do with our offensive success, and we knew that. So we tried to focus on just continue to winning and doing things like next man up, like third. But we knew that it was going to be more than just next man up. We knew it was going to be like something that was going to kind of get in the way of us, and we just never was able to battle ourselves back out mentally. And then when he went to jail in the whole situation, we kind of, and saying that he was going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, we felt bad for him. So that kind of deflated us as well. So they had so much other things, and not only him not being there, going through that, but how he was being treated after that happened kind of hurt us as well. So
yeah, I remember, the whole story, right? With New York trying to make an example, they really wanted to crack down on that again. Midway through a Football Friday edition, Super Bowl edition 2017 with the big man showing out the guns. I noticed though one of the sleeves was rolled up, and then you had the other one only half. I mean, I'm assuming you wanted to pop the left bicep a little more than the right bicep. Is that where we're at right now, or they're just?
I don't see them rolled up, Rich.
No. I can rewind it to there. It was.
I did that. Oh no, it was just a little chilly out here, so that's kind of was.
Prosperity. I don't know. You look like you're dropping weight a little bit.
Nah, I'm not dropping any weight. Shit, I wish I was. I'm picking up what everybody else dropped.
All right, so Kyrie, and then we learned Kevin Durant basically wants out. I mean, he went from I want out, I want to get traded, get rid of Sean Marks, get rid of Steve Nash. In comes Jacques Vaughn. I thought they were playing well too, even though perimeter defense was kind of lacking early on in the season.
They were fourth or fifth in the Eastern Conference. They were sitting nice.
They had a nice run, but that's my whole point.
Sitting nice.
And Kyrie was playing well. That's what's so perplexing. Like, I think the brass just decided enough is enough. Enough is enough. And you can appreciate this in the NBA. If the players gripe, the players go, right? In the NFL, if the players gripe in the NFL, the owners are like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, they're like, whatever. You hold no weight. So take your ass out there on Sundays and do what you need to do and shut your mouth.
Yeah, that's my whole point, right? You would agree the NBA is a players' league.
Right. Well, the thing is that the NBA is definitely a players' league. They pay the guys in the NBA so much. $14,000 a day is not a bad thing for them to miss. Right? The football players doesn't get paid like basketball players get paid. So when you don't show up for a whole day, they find you $14,000 a day.
Wow. It adds up.
So you're like, I'm not playing. I'm not coming to practice. I'm not playing. They find you. They take you $14,000 a day. A lot of guys can't afford that, so they just deal with it.
Yeah. So when you look at KD now, he goes to Phoenix. You got Booker, you got Chris Paul, you got Ayton, and now Kevin Durant. I mean, no Curry in Golden State, right? Memphis, okay. Denver, okay. It's right there for Phoenix. No, you're shaking your head.
Phoenix winning it all.
No. I was even gonna say.
Phoenix are winning it. Phoenix gonna win it all. Phoenix gonna win it all because I don't think nobody on the East is that consistently good outside of Milwaukee,
Boston,
and Philly, and Boston.
Philly, you can't trust that head coach. I don't want to hear that nonsense.
They're
They're up
good though.
3-1 huh?
Rich, they're a good basketball team.
The Sixers?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're a good team, but they can't match up against Milwaukee or Boston. Boston beats them in 7 games. Easy. They Brown, Tatum, Horford. Absolutely.
Oh. I don't know. I like Milwaukee out the East, and I like Phoenix out the West.
See, that's recency bias, man. Phoenix is going to be Phoenix. You know what they're going to do?
How is it recency bias?
Because they
KD
made the
went
move
there?
for Kevin Durant. If they didn't make the trade for Kevin Durant, are you still going to say that Phoenix is going to win and come
No,
out?
I'm not going to say that. Then I have no reason to say that because I don't have any. They don't have a Kevin Durant. It's clear. I mean, no, I wouldn't say that.
Listen, they will lose in the Western Conference Finals, and they're a team you can't trust. I can't trust Phoenix, so that leads me into this question I want to pose to you. If Kevin Durant doesn't win, you would admit it'll take 15 to 20 games for them to probably get acclimated, right? So right now, I'm pulling it up for you right now.
Acclimated to what? He's been playing all season.
Yeah, but he's not been playing with those guys. He's
Man,
not.
basketball is basketball. You pass, you flash, you post, you rebound. That shit ain't hard.
Wait,
no acclamation there.
Wait, what did you say? You pass?
You get the ball, you pass, you flash the lane. You know what I'm saying? It ain't hard. It's the same thing. No acclamation. He's going to go his first game back, I think it's tonight. He's going to play. He's going to have 30.
They're sitting in the 6th seed right now. They're 30-27.
Mm-hmm.
Denver's 38-18. Memphis is 33-21. Sacramento, they might fall off. Wouldn't it be something if Dallas and Phoenix played in the playoffs?
That's not going to happen.
Well, seeding
wise. That's a team who Kyrie ain't going to be able to make better. He's not going to make that team no better. You got 2 ball-dominant guys up there. Whose team is it, Kyrie or Luka?
It's Luka's team.
Yeah, because he's been there longer, but who's the better basketball player out the 2?
Right now, Luka.
Right now, you said
he's a walking friggin' triple-double. The guy's putting up monster numbers this year. Yes. Yeah, flash and pass for Luka.
A walking triple-double.
Yeah.
I remember Westbrook was doing that, and somebody said he wasn't that good.
I know.
But, I mean.
What are we doing here? Is this what we're doing now? We're taking
I'm just
shots?
saying, because you're walking triple-double, sometimes I would say, yeah, he's a beast. But if a certain person is a walking triple-double, is not.
Time out. Well, he's not throwing the ball off the backboard just to get a GP rebound. Listen, hold on. We'll get to your guy Westbrook in a second. His stat lines are ridiculous, man. His stat lines are ridiculous. 53, 5 and 8, 41, 6 and 15, 34, 7 and 12, 38 and 4 and 7, 15, 10 and 6, 35, 13, 14, 43, 7 and 11, 34, 10 and 10. Yeah, you yawn. Am I boring you like last week? Kyrie's not putting up those numbers.
Go and look at Kyrie's. Go look at his stat line. It ain't gonna be much different than what you just read. Maybe not 50, but 40, 38, 38, 36, 40, 26, 35. Yeah, that's Kyrie. Go look at it.
He's had a good month.
See what I'm saying? The same damn month that Luka's doing. Like,
all right. That's I'll meet you halfway.
Yeah, I know.
I love you, listen, I'm man enough to admit.
Whose team is it? That's the question. Whose team is it?
It's Luka's team.
I agree.
Now, fourth quarter, who gets the rock?
Fourth quarter, who gets the rock? Well, hopefully, the fourth quarter is a long time, so hopefully both of them see the rock a good bit. The game on the line.
There we go.
Game on the line.
Game on the line.
You got a minute left in the game, and they're down by 4. Who take the shots?
Well, I'll do you one better. Let's say they're down 2 or 1, and there's 13 seconds to go.
I'm going Kyrie. I'm giving the ball to Kyrie. You know why? Because I feel like he can get to the rim better than Luka can.
But be correct. I'll agree with you. So let that defense get drawn in, attack the tin, and then dish it out. There we go. And my man Luka sinks it. That's what we do.
Right, but they ain't collapsing down if listen, I'm not gonna say too much. I like Luka. I'm not gonna he ain't getting to nobody around. I'll tell you that much. He ain't getting nobody around.
Are we done with the big 3 in the NBA?
I mean, I think so. Because they're not getting the job done. You can't win in the NBA no more with the three big time players.
But don't you think it's just really a Batman Robin? In the
That's
NFL,
it.
you have a quarterback. The NFL, if you have a really good quarterback, the NFL makes you competitive. The quarterback can take you so far. In the NBA, all you need is that teammate to play off of, right? So I don't know, man. The days of, I mean, look, even if you go back, like the Spurs teams, the Lakers teams, your Bulls teams. I mean, it was Jordan and Pippen. Then it was Stockton, Malone, right? Shaq and Kobe. I mean, you can argue a little bit with the Spurs, with Duncan and Parker, and then throw in Ginobili. Irving, Harden, and Durant played 16 total games together.
What's their record in those 16 games? I remember James Harden went down. I remember it took him a while to really.
Yeah, I'd have to pull it up. I mean, and then you start to say what the records are with and without Kyrie. I mean, if Kevin Durant doesn't win a championship this year, okay, with Curry going down and the Western Conference, aside from Memphis and Denver, pretty much being wide open, how do we look at Kevin Durant? Does that hurt his legacy at all?
No, because I don't think team success should be on an individual player. I don't think that.
Okay, but then, well, wait a second.
If that's the case, we got to call Bill Russell to go.
Well, greatest winner of all time, right? Because of all the rings. But he also played on those guys were playing with wall-to-wall Hall of Famers. Wall-to-wall Hall of Famers. Were they not? Those Celtics team. I mean, hell, look at the 80s. Look at the 80s. Look at the Lakers team. Magic, Kareem, Worthy, Nixon, Scott. Who am I missing?
I'm still waiting for you to name somebody good. I'm just playing. I'm just joking.
Are you kidding me? The Boston Celtics, Parrish, McHale, Bird. They had
I can't give you Robert Parrish, though, brother. I can't give you that one.
Robert Parrish is a Hall of Fame center. The game's different.
It ain't nothing to get. It's nothing to make the NBA Hall of Fame, bro.
Because
Dwight Howard's gonna make that.
Because it's the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. So they're looking at what you did in college, overseas, the Olympics, and the pros.
Right. That's why I don't look at it. I don't respect it like that.
Well,
Dennis Rodman is in the Hall of Fame.
He's one of the greatest rebounders of all time.
Well, how come he's ranked 23rd in rebounding?
That means nothing to me.
What do you mean, though? You say he's one of the greatest rebounders of all time. You put him in the Hall of Fame because he can get a rebound off the rim.
So we're going to compare it with Wilt that averaged 30-something rebounds in a season. How's that fair?
He's 23rd. Wilt is one person.
Yeah. That's my whole point. So we're going to take away what Rodman did in his career in his era, and you're going to compare it to
okay.
The hate for Rodman. Here comes.
Okay, so there's 22 people ahead of Rodman, and and probably only 2 or 3 of them are Hall of Fame. Why is Rodman in the Hall of Fame?
All right, hold on. I'm pulling it up right now. So you're looking pure scoring. Is Dwight Howard's in there? Is Dwight Howard going to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman, he played defense. He was a lockdown defender. He was a great Well, come on, man. Are you kidding me?
Who did he lock down that was worthy of being locked down? Because if you say Shaq, I'm going to say you're lying, because he averaged over 12 games. Shaq averaged 26 points on Dennis Rodman over 12 games. That ain't shutting nobody down.
It's who you're playing every night. It's who you're playing. So you're going to sit there and tell me the guy won 5 championships. He was all NBA first team for 7 years. Okay. 7 years. He was all NBA first team. He was NBA all defensive second team. He was an all-star. He was a defensive player of the year multiple times. And think about this. He was basically the heart and soul of that Pistons bad boy team. I mean, seriously, he did all the dirty work. He understood his role. He started to come off the bench. Chuck Daly says, you know what? We got to insert this guy into the lineup because of his athleticism. He's always hustling for balls all over the place. And, oh, by the way, he also helped your Bulls win a championship too.
No, he didn't. I mean, they could have won. They won with Horace Grant too.
He was Dennis. I think Dennis Rodman, he was a before his time kind of rebounder and defender.
Okay.
He would body up guys, man. Like, it's not about
I'm trying
Shaq.
to.
It's
Who
the
did
guys
Dennis Rodman, Rich? Who did Dennis Rodman ever shut down that was worthy of giving him the fucking Hall of Fame? Who?
but it's
Tell
an
me who.
it's you're saying one time. You're saying
No,
one
no, no,
moment.
no. I'm asking over a time, over a career. Who did he shut down?
He locked down the forwards that he needed to, whether it was early on in his career, the Birds or the McHales, you know, the Karl Malones. He was basically the guy that bodied up these guys on a nightly basis.
Okay, you say Karl Malone. Let's go see what Karl Malone averaged over Dennis Rodman over how many games. Let's see that. Like, I'm telling you,
What is the disdain for Rodman?
Rodman he made the Hall of Fame because he's fucking weird. That's why. Rodman don't color his hair and do all that crazy shit. He don't make the Hall of Fame. Come on, man. Rebounds, he's 23rd in rebounds. You talking about defense? He ain't shutting nobody down. Nobody. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna show you right now. I'm telling you.
Listen, I thought because you would be outside today getting some fresh air, you would be a lot more.
No, because people, they get me, they blow me with that, man. They kill me with that whole Dennis Rodman shit, man.
Listen, it's the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, right? So we're taking all things into consideration. Dwight Howard is a compiler. Dwight Howard is a guy that you can't argue the stats, but when you look at Dwight Howard, you can almost say he underachieved throughout the course of his career. But people will look at the rebounds, people will look at him being a rim protector, playing both ends of the floor, and he's going to get in because that's where we're at with basketball. It's, if you want to say it's watered down a little bit, fine, but I don't know, man. I think you're just kind of doing a little disservice to the worm. That's all.
I'm not doing a little disservice to the worm. I actually, so when I find this, because I don't really want to be on air like this looking for it and can't find it. When I find it, Karl Malone numbers against Dennis Rodman, I'm gonna send it to you, and I'm gonna let you see. He never really. There's no forward out there that ever shut Karl Malone down. Other than Barkley.
Karl Malone averaged 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 3.4 assists in 30 games versus Dennis Rodman.
So help me understand who he shut down. That's what I'm saying. Who is Dennis Rodman? What did he do? I'm telling you, he's weird as hell. So people, I'm telling you, man, he's 23rd in rebounds. Let's go back to that. Because he got a lot of people there, because there's a lot of people that's ahead of him in rebounds, but not in the Hall of Fame.
Is Ben Wallace in the Hall of Fame? Is Ben Wallace a Hall of Famer to you?
No.
Okay. I agree. I just think if Rodman is second or third season in the league also led the league in field goal percentage. He wasn't an offensive weapon, but he shot 60% from the floor, right? First team coming off the bench, okay? Still led the league in rebounding, and that was 5 or 6 years later. So even in his prime, in year 2 of a 14-year career, okay, late on in his career, 10-year stretch from 88 to 98, average, forget about the points, 7.2 a game. That's nothing. We understand the position, 52% from the floor, 14.6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 point, almost 2 combined blocks and steals in 34 minutes. Everywhere he went, San Antonio, Detroit, the Bulls only missed the playoffs once and lost in the first round twice. He reached the conference finals 7 times. He won 5 championships. Okay.
He
was an elite, but to me, he was an elite rebounder, and he tracked down guys. He never allowed them to body. Karl Malone got the best of a lot of people, but I just think you're pigeonholing him because he had the goofy hair, man, and he wore.
I just don't think he's a Hall of Famer, dude. That's it. I just don't think Dennis Rodman is a Hall of Famer. That's it. You got
okay.
Shit, is Alvin Hayes a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Okay, he is a Hall of Famer, right? So let's go.
Yeah, man, you were like a dog on a bone. You were about to come at me if I said no.
Yo, how about Nate Thurman?
Nate Thurman's a Hall of Famer.
Is Nate Thurman a Hall of Famer, though?
I believe so.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question.
So is Bob Pettit a Hall of Famer?
Bob Pettit from St. Louis?
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, but
so you telling me everybody that's ahead of Dennis Rodman on this rebound list is all Hall of Famers.
Well, I don't have.
I'll tell you. You got Wilt, you got Bill Russell, you got Kareem, you got Elvin Hayes, Moses Malone, Tim Duncan, Karl Malone, Robert Parrish, Kevin Garnett, Dwight Howard, Nate Thurman, Walt Bellamy, Wes Unseld, whoever the hell that is. I never heard of him.
Wes Unseld was a great player for the Bullets.
Right. But is he a Hall of Famer?
Yes. Great player.
Akeem Olajuwon, you got Shaquille O'Neal, you got Buck Williams, you got Jerry Lucas, you got Bob Pettit, you got Charles Barkley, you got Mutombo, Paul Silas, and Paul Silas, Charles
Paul
Barkley,
Silas, yep.
And Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. Buck Williams was a good player, not Hall of Fame worthy. I don't believe Buck Williams is in the Hall of Fame, but a very, very good player.
But why not? He's got more rebounds than
Dennis Rodman. Again, we're kind of going back to the stat thing where why can't we just look at, hold on a second. Like, for instance, LeBron James just passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Does it really mean he's the all-time great scorer, or he just scored the most points in NBA history?
He's the all-time greatest scorer. Like, what do you mean? Like, he got the most points, and he has the most points in NBA history.
Okay, so then I can take it a step back and say they also are with the advent of the three-point shot as well. Hasn't that not helped some of these guys? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a center. He wasn't taking three-point shots.
Yeah. But they added the three-point shot, but it's also the most difficult shot to make.
But it also helps. It also boosts averages up. It helps. My point is, okay, who is the career leading rusher in NFL history?
Emmitt Smith.
Now be fair, be honest.
I'm gonna be fair. Let's go. Let's get there. I'm gonna be fair.
You know what? Your neighbors, you're getting a little too.
No. I'm gonna be fair when it comes to this, because I just had an argument with somebody about this.
Now you're going to tell me Emmitt Smith's the all-time greatest running back in NFL history?
Hell no, he ain't close. I can tell you 10 guys better.
But there you go. But he's got the most friggin' yards. So just because someone has more,
hold on, he has the. And all you can't really use it because his operation a little different. He had the best offensive line. Listen, he had the best offensive line, and damn near the best team his whole time playing. Right? That has nothing to do with scoring the basketball. Nothing to do with that at all.
B, my point is this, though. If you're going to give me 10 guys that have more rebounds than Dennis Rodman and say they're better than Rodman just because he's not higher up on the list, and then you're going to sit there and tell me that because Emmitt Smith has the most rushing yards in NFL history, he's not the greatest running back. You're
no, he's not. He's not, because first of all, he wasn't explosive. He wasn't fast.
You're making my case.
Right, but I'm saying he had a great offensive line. He had so many more things that had to go his way in order for him to get up there. That's not the same when it comes to basketball, Rich. It's not the same.
I
think got nobody blocking for you in basketball. You make your way to the rim. You make a basket. You do that consistently every game.
So wait, what's tougher? What's tougher in your mind then? Rebounding?
What you mean? What's tougher?
You're saying, well, it's different. You're not getting helped out when you're playing NBA. So, like, doesn't that actually show and prove my point about what Dennis Rodman's versatility played?
No, it doesn't, because they got other people on this list ahead of him when you come to rebounds. That's not Hall of Famers, Rich.
But then you've got Emmitt Smith at the most yards, and yet he's still not the best running back. That's my point.
No, he's not the best running back. You give Adrian Peterson that line, he rushed with 30,000 yards.
I agree 100% with you.
Yeah,
I don't agree.
Guys out there that you give that line to, they destroying everything. They destroying Emmitt's numbers.
I don't agree with your Rodman and the rebounding and the all-time stance. And I go, LeBron James is not, you're a Jordan guy. LeBron James is not the greatest player of all time, right? Jordan is your GOAT.
Because that's my opinion. Jordan is my favorite player, so that's my opinion. GOATs, like I said earlier, GOATs is not facts. That's only everyone's opinion. There's nothing that recognize you as the GOAT will make you the GOAT, because everybody got different things.
I think you're looking at, you're going by what I said with Rodman being a lockdown defender, where, okay, have guys gotten the best of him? Of course. But we're talking about an 82 game season. We're talking about playoffs. We're talking about championships. We're talking about now 100 and something odd games. You're allowed to have guys dog you once in a while. For his time, for his era, I don't recall a rebounder that was as athletic, explosive, also played both ends of the floor, and was a very good defender. That's all I'm saying. All those guys you mentioned are Hall of Fame worthy, but I can't diminish what Rodman did and say he's not a Hall of Famer. That's just my opinion.
I guess For me, I have a problem with the whole Rodman thing because I hate when we talk to Michael Jordan. They bring, well, he had Rodman. Who? So what? Why? Who cares? He had Rodman, and how many points did Rodman score? How many times Rodman led the league in rebounds when he played with the Bulls?
I'd have to pull that up. How many times did he
Yeah. Let
lead
me
the
know, because I
league
don't
in
know if he ever
rebounding?
led the league in rebounds or not. When he
So
played
that
with the
was
Bulls.
end of his career.
That was 97 through what the last 3 years out.
Yeah. So Rodman. Here you go. Rodman led the league. So you tell me. He played with the Bulls 95 to 98.
Mm-hmm.
So he was 7-time NBA rebounding champion, 92 to 98. So that was 95, 96, 4 times.
So you don't think the Bulls win without Rodman?
It's not what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
You know what? You are.
Him.
You are. You know who? You know what you become? You become a member of the media. You have just.
Yeah. I can't. I don't know, man. I just don't see Rodman as a Hall of Famer, man. It's just hard for me to see that. But given this list and who all's in the Hall of Fame, I mean, I don't respect the NBA Hall of Fame anymore. Nate Smith, whatever you want to call it, the Basketball Hall of Fame. Guys can't even be excited to make that shit anymore.
Oh, I don't know, man. I mean, next week we'll get into the NFL. They had the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I saw Darrell Reeves got in. It looks like.
So did Rondé Barber, and Joe Klecko,
and
really? Zach Thomas, and Joe
Thomas.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like those. I like those picks.
Yeah. All right, we agree on something. All right, Sunday. I think this game. Remember the media? That was good. I think that game's going to be won or lost in the trenches, man. I just look at this game, and the Eagles lead the league in sacks. We saw what they did in the playoffs. I don't think that's by mistake. I think they got guys that can get to the quarterback. We know Mahomes might be a little compromised with that ankle. So where do you see this game is going to be won or lost for either team? You think it's going to be in the trenches, the lines?
I think the Eagles have the better offensive and defensive line than the Kansas City Chiefs. I got the Philadelphia Eagles by 14.
Oh, you don't even have this game close. You don't. This game's not close. You have this like a 31-17 type game.
No, I don't have it at 20. I don't have it that high of a score. I just don't think. I just don't think Kansas City gonna score many points. And this is the first time where the Kansas City Chiefs are playing against a defensive line, a super athletic defensive line. Boys is coming off the ball, 4.4 type speed. He ain't gonna be able to do all that running around in that pocket like he do buying time. He's not gonna be able to do
that. And the one thing, his strength is also his weakness. Sometimes he plays a little hero ball, right? Sometimes
he just tosses the ball around.
Yeah.
And I think the Eagles got one of the better defensive backfields in the National Football League as well.
So
with old Bradbury back there.
Well, listen, that was a money thing, right? I mean, they just couldn't get a trade partner, couldn't work it out. So what happens though if, let's say Kansas City scores a couple quick touchdowns, and this is a 14-3, 16-6 Kansas City lead, and you've got the veteran on one sideline and Andy Reid, you got the younger head coach Nick Sirianni, and it's 4th and 3 on the Eagles' own 35, and they're down 10 early on in that game. To me, that's going to
you punt the ball.
See, that's
you punt it. Don't go for it.
But I don't think that's who they are. The Eagles have shown that they're aggressive. Is that I want to see if that scenario plays out, because is it a aggressive? Is it a panic move? I mean, it's a Super Bowl, man. You can't leave anything to chance, right?
You can't. However, I think the Eagles roster is better. And I don't think what you just said gonna ever show us ugly face.
You don't think that scenario plays out?
No, hell no. Yeah, no.
Is there more pressure on Andy Reid because he's facing his former team, or Patrick Mahomes, because those two should have won more Super Bowls?
I agree, but I don't know if there's more pressure on Andy Reid as far as in this game is concerned. I just think that they are faced with a bunch of athletic animals that's going to make it hard for the Kansas City Chiefs to be able to do what they need to do. Now, I can't say Andy Reid's legacy is compromised if he don't win this game. Come on, man, the guy's an awesome coach, whether he win this game or not.
But what about Patrick Mahomes? Because everyone's starting to think, okay, now if you win this one, you just won an MVP, you win another Super Bowl. And if you win the Super Bowl, most likely it's because of your performance, which means you be another Super Bowl MVP. Now we start to stick you into that Montana-ish Brady converse, or is it too early for that stuff?
It's too early for that. They asked me. I mean, I think he accomplished the main goal once already. Another one won't change anything as far as his GOAT status, as people may want to call it. But I don't know. I don't think it does anything for Patrick if he win or lose. I don't think it does anything. I mean, shit, he's already signed the biggest contract out of any player in the NFL history. He's already done that. He owned a part of the baseball team. I mean, he's done things that's up there. So,
Yeah.
but I don't think winning or lose this game will change any of that for him.
How about Jalen Hurts, right? We didn't really see too much against the Giants. That game was over early. San Francisco, the game. And by the way, the 49ers players are still.
That's the only thing that bothers me when it comes down picking the Eagles, because they didn't play against much competition.
Right.
On the way to the Super Bowl. They didn't beat.
You're talking about the playoffs. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, I'm talking about the playoffs. They had a wounded San Francisco team with going on their 4th-string quarterback. I mean, you had the Giants that they played, who barely got in. So he didn't face the quality of like the Bengals and.
It's a different animal.
Different animal, but however, Kansas City has not played against a quarterback that run around like Jalen Hurts as well, though. They haven't played against a running back. You know what I'm saying? They haven't done those things either. So it's plus. It's pluses on both sides for both teams. I just think the Eagles are more talented.
Yeah,
and a younger team.
This kind of reminds me. I mean, it's apples and oranges, but I think Kansas City's more the sentimental pick. I don't think the Eagles are a likable team. I think people look at them as arrogant and cocky. And to be honest, I can't stand him. I have such disdain for him, but I like Jalen Hurts. And I think there's something to be said when you go out and you kind of back that up. Like, you almost have to kind of respect it. It almost reminds me, like, when you guys played in 2007, nobody wanted the Patriots to win. Nobody wanted to. I mean, it was everything was giant, you got to figure. I mean, the 72 Dolphins even, go out there. And so I think the Eagles are kind of relishing the villain role, to be quite honest with you, because it's almost like they have this, we don't give an F. And I think that'll be interesting to see how it plays out. By the way, this game's in Arizona. So obviously 2007. Does it kind of, you think about that around this time, those 2 championships runs?
I do. And especially with the game 15 years ago, happening in Arizona for us, winning the Super Bowl in Arizona. That's the only part to me that sucks about it. Being a guy that doesn't like the Eagles, being in the NFC East, they're going to get a chance to win the Super Bowl in the same building we did.
Yeah.
That sucks to me. I don't like that, but they definitely going to win.
I'll never forget, man, watching the game with my father, sitting down on the sofa, and right before Moss's touchdown, and I forget who the DB, I don't know if it was Webster, somebody slipped.
Probably, it was Corey, I think. I think Corey slipped on a goal.
So
James didn't get over the top.
Yeah, so the power, for some reason, the TV went out. And the power came back on, and I saw the Patriots celebrating. And I was like, I just kind of put my head down, and my father looked at me and he goes, "There's plenty of time left, son." And then after the play with Eli, which I want to ask you before we get out of here, he looked at me and he's like, Giants are going to win this friggin' game. That play, it's funny because the touchdown play, you actually had to pick up a block, did you not, to play on Plax? What about the great escape on that play? What do you remember about that?
Well, I think it was Cafe. I think it was 76, I think, or 63. One of the two. It was Cafe, though, because I was in the flat. And I'm running a route. And when I look around, they got him. they got him, and I'm pulling them. So I'm thinking to go back, but I'm like, they got him. What am I go back for? So let me just sit here, not sure what was going to happen. Then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there watching.
You were near the sideline on the play, right?
Yeah, I was near the sideline. I just ran the diagonal, the shoot route, turn to get the ball, and he's fighting for his life. Then I'm standing there looking around like, and then he gets loose. So I goes up the sideline. So I'm hoping he see me up the sideline, because when you run toward the sideline and you run out of sideline and you run out of field and you go up the field. So now I'm scramble drill. So now I'm running up the field, and all I was seeing throw the ball up. I just looked like, damn, dude, it's middle of the field.
Which you shouldn't do.
Yeah, I'm like, so David comes down with the ball, and we don't know if he caught it or not. But when he catches it and goes down, and I see him like that with the ball like off his head, like got his shot back, and I'm like, he got the ball. He caught that shit. He caught that. So I run up and I find Richard Seymour. So he had been talking shit to me. And I find him, and I'm like, we're going to whoop your ass. When stuff like that happens, we're going to win this game. Ain't nothing could stop us now. When stuff like that happens, we're going to win. So you're going to be crying and walking up the field in a little bit. But he had been talking cash money to me the whole game, like all kinds of shit. He was telling me some of everything. And I respect the hell out of Seymour, man. One of the better defensive linemen I've ever faced. But it was awesome. When he threw that ball up there, man, I'm like, this is the shame. Why would he do that? But David came down with it, man, and he made a play.
The ball hung up there. It seemed like an eternity.
Oh my God, it hung up there. I'm standing there looking like that's what it was. I'm like, who's gonna be down there to get that thing? I didn't even see David at first. I just see the ball, and then I look and see who's there. I didn't see David. Then I look up at the ball again, and I look again. Dude, like, where's he throwing the ball to? And David just appear out of nowhere.
It was on a couple plays later. Lob, burst, touchdown, Giants, right? And that's pretty much
that's it.
Sports God smiled on you guys that day.
That's
it,
big
man. Excellent. Hey, you're a little juice today sitting outside like that. You think maybe you get that southern breeze come in, calm you down a little bit, but no, little rattlesnake today, boy.
It's the Dennis Rodman talk that get me fired up.
That's I just
people like like you said, defense. Karl Malone averaged 27 points on him. So when you talking about defense, he shut down players that was worthy of being shut down. But the ones he couldn't shut down were Hall of Famers. He shouldn't get a Hall of Fame nod because he's shutting trash down.
Well, I guess
we'll taking trash out.
I mean, I don't like this media, Brandon Jacobs. You are now the media.
We've had this conversation already, Rich. It's Dennis Rodman talk.
Oh, my man, Pots and Pans. All right, next week, I know we got to wrap it up, but we'll recap the game. We'll get in more NBA, but I want to start to kind of look at the boxing. We got some fights coming up.
Got some stuff coming up that we need to talk about.
Yeah, we got some nonsense, but because it's our last football Friday edition of 27Q, and you're outside and the air should be just flowing right off the dome and whatnot, and you get a little hot toddy later, who knows, you're good to go, spicy margarita. Tell the people what they need to know.
Hey, everybody, we here. We always end it like this and something great. I'm going to change it up a little bit. Everybody, enjoy the weekend. Have a great weekend. Stay out of harm's way. Have great humanities to the people around you, no matter the color or race. Great humanities and treat people great. Be awesome. Be great. Please. You always got to leave. You got to say, please, yes, sir, no, sir. And again, I'm going to take it back to please and fucking thank you. Make sure you let everybody around you know how great they are. Great humanities, again, no matter the color or race. You guys be good.
There you have it from the charismatic. Two-time Super Bowl champ from the New York
Football. Put me in the NBA Hall of Fame because I deserve to be that too.
My guy.
Robin belongs, I belong.
27, Brandon Jacobs. I'm Rich Quinones. Check us out on social media, YouTube channel as well. As always, we will do it again next week. Big man, enjoy the game. Always a good time going back and forth with you and poking and prodding the big bear. And
Got it,
we'll do
brother.
again
It's
next
good to
time. All right,
see you.
brother. You got it, man.
Good to
Be
see
good.
you.